Hello, everyone. Welcome to another brief lecture for our Phil 115 critical thinking material. This is chapter 8 on commercial and political advertising. So following chapter 7 and fake news, chapter 8 is also very much related and crucially important because advertising plays a large part in how we try to get people to believe something else, whether it's buy a product or sell a political message. And this has become certainly more pronounced as social media and the internet have taken off the last 20 or so years. So perhaps a lot of this is going to be familiar to you if you've taken one of our great communication studies classes. So there's going to be some overlap, but obviously we're approaching it from a critical thinking perspective and how to be critical thinkers when it comes to advertising, which, as chapter 7 discussed, should involve a reasonable amount of skepticism when we come across an advertisement, because at its most basic level, we know that corporations and companies want to sell us stuff, and that's okay, right? That's the, or maybe you don't think there should be any ads, but that's usually not a popular view. But, you know, they're very good at getting us to try products, right? There's a reason that advertisements have exploded in our digital age. It's because they are effective, right? At getting us to click on things, or whether it's banner ads or clickbait or tracking cookies on our web browsers. It works, right? And advertisers know that, and they know that certain tricks and certain moves are better than others at getting us to look at what they want us to look at. So generally, advertising is the practice of calling the public's attention to something to induce them to buy products or services or otherwise change their opinions or behavior, right? It's not just all about selling us products. It most often is, but it's also, political ads in particular are trying to get us to change our opinions about a potential political candidate, right? So advertising in general can be designed to influence, persuade, and or manipulate. And advertising can often be deceptive and misleading, employing fallacies, which we learn about in chapter 12, and rhetorical ploys such as emotional appeals, hasty generalizations, faulty analogies, and fallacious appeals to popularity and authority. Not necessarily obliged to adhere to standards of objectivity, fairness, or reliability. So one way that advertisers have gotten around health claims and other regulations that we have about advertising is to employ what we'll call weaselers. If you've seen a toothpaste commercial or any commercial advertising some product, they're usually able to frame things in just such a way to not have the government, check the claims that they're making, right? So advertisers are very good at that. So we should, again, approach anything on the internet with a healthy dose of skepticism, or on television, or wherever we see ads.